Oh, hello everybody. I came across another VTT style software the other day, and that's Alchemy. Alchemy role-playing, they call them, or Alchemy RPG. And I was quite struck by how it actually puts its focus. And it reminds me a little bit of Roll VTT. I made a video about that one before, but this has got a slightly different focus on it. And I like what they're doing with the graphics, etc. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I found out so far. But just to be clear, I'm by no means an expert here. I haven't even worked out how to assign a character sheet to myself in Symbaroum yet, but let's have a look what this is all about. It's a VTT platform. I think that is very different to things like Fantasy Grounds or Roll20 or Foundry, and it's much more like Roll VTT. So let's have a look. What it basically is on the right here, you've got the website. It's a Kickstarter that has really recently gone into early access. So you can actually use everything I'm showing you today for free. I haven't paid a penny for it, nor am I paid to promote this. And what they're trying to do is basically have one big screen for your scene, exposing your scene on it. And the rest of it is voice chat at this point. I don't know whether they're going to do video chat, but voice chat is supported, and you can even have people watching your game live, if you like. And possibly, I've heard somebody else comment on it, they might put some stream support into this. But yeah, first of all, you want to see what it's about. So graphically, it's really, really nicely done. Yeah, stream here without the need for additional software. They're talking about it already coming late 22. That's not in yet. And you can watch other players. They also have a number of content modules already in place, including quite a bit of the 5e. Basically, 5e at this point is the only system that is fully supported. And they've got Ruins of Symbaroum, as you can see here on this picture, which got my attention, because they've got the, what is it called? Promised Land configured on it. Couldn't quite work it out. They've got some partnerships, my favorite Free League here right at the front as well, and they've got a web portal and they've got an app. So I'm going to show you the app a little bit. And then what I've been playing with is not so much 5e, because I suck at 5e. Instead, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've done with Blade Runner so far. Yeah, Blade Runner is not a system that is supported, but you can still upload scenes and make scenes happen. So let me show you this. If you've got questions, please check in. So what you might notice right away on this screen here, this is just a picture I uploaded, but the weather, the movement effects, they are baked in. So you can basically, for each scene, you can configure what background music you might have. You can configure what animation effects you've got. And I've got a few here for you. The music, by the way, is playing actually from the scene. Yeah, so I uploaded the sound file to it, and whenever I'm on the scene, this will play. You can have one track as background music and one track for when an encounter happens, so when initiatives are rolled. Quite clever in that. So this is basically on the left, you have your chat bar. So if I type something into my chat bar, it's all a bit small. Sorry, this is the client, so I can't zoom in. You can see how that builds up. Also, if you want to, you have a dice roller here at the bottom. It's quite small, I appreciate that. But for example, for Blade Runner, you might have to roll a d6 and a d12 together. And then it rolls a 3 and a 6, and you know, I've got a success. So very manual. You can, when you have the character sheets for 5e, for example, you will then see that you can configure checks and you can just roll a save or something like that. That's better supported, but that's not what my video is about today. It's just the basics. So that's your chat window. On the right-hand side here, you've got what your management is basically. You've got your party window that's currently only me, and you've got your scene window at the bottom. So if I wanted, for example, here, these are the scenes I lined up. I created 4 scenes so far. I'll keep the spoilers really light for Electric Dream. You have the scene browser, then you have notes for this scene. You've got this little tiny postage stamp in the corner, so if you have lots of scene descriptions, that doesn't work very well, I think. You've got GM actions, so you can basically create things like, I want to have an attack, and then you can roll, but this is all like an attack, a command, and message. Shortcut basically for roll or for command. You can have handouts configured for your players, and I'll show you that one as I go through the scenes. And you can have books, so you can upload PDF files in here that you can share with the players or for yourself. So for instance, I've just put the Welcome to Symbaroum, my sort of player's brief into here. And that basically is a PDF, and if I click on it, you just get this little window if you want to read something up. That might actually be a better way of getting the scenario notes, this stage. Right, let me change the scene. So the first thing you do when you are a Blade Runner and the case starts, you need to go and see your boss in the LAPD. You can see the case briefing. So let's make the music a bit louder. So this is now the next scene. This is the scene from the, again, a picture from the brilliant art within the scenario. So I've just grabbed that and then put over the top of this an effect saying, I think, light beam, so you can see the slight dusty floaters here, which I think go really, really well with the scene. Now, the art style here is thus that it's always a bit sort of hazy, indeterminate. That's perfectly moody, I think. That works really well. If I now, as a GM, wanted to see what's going on, I can go to the story tab down here, and you can see how small it is. Don't think I would really want to run a game from this little thing down here, but it's got description of who's here, it's got the clues in it, copied straight from the PDF. It's got the different things you can start the case on, and that basically is your little crib sheet as a GM. I could then have, again, my actions, or I could have my handouts on here. So on this one, for example, I get a handout about one of the suspects, or one of the missing people, actually. So I click on that, and the players will get the same pop-up. Yeah, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. That works quite nicely. Just close it up here. And once I shared this with the players, so let me show that on Sander's record. Yeah, on here currently that's not shared. That's just for me. But how did you do this again? Think on the record. By the way, if you know more than I do, please chip in the chat. Yeah, please do. I know you can do it. A handout. Is it edit? Is it under edit? View? Unlock the up here? Yeah, that's sharing. So you can share it with the players. If I had any players, you could share it from here. And then they can go to the same list and they can see the handouts that you've shared with them. So that's quite useful to have a little file cabinet here. And of course, you could have NPCs in the scene. I don't have any NPCs, but you would have a tab for NPCs here. And you could actually see currently who's watching you on your stream. So that's that bit. If I go to Wallace Corp, for example, here, another site where you interview some people. Yeah, the music automatically changes. You've got this golden glitter effect, which is absolutely perfect for Wallace Corp. Yeah. And again, I've got the notes down here. Oh, I didn't do those. But where I think it could really excel, one of the things in Blade Runner is you have crime scenes, and you've got, at this point, certainly for this starter scenario, sort of crime scene photos and maps. And I think you're going to like this. Let's have a look at this. I think you're going to like this. So if I go to one of the scenes, I basically created the crime scene photo here as a backdrop. So it's nice and big. It's not a small, tiny handout, but it's basically taking the whole screen. If I just go here, you can see a bit more. And to show the map, again, the floaters here, they are added in by Alchemy. But I think they're really good for this scene. And the handouts here, for example, there's something you can click on over there. There in the handouts folder, okay. But you can click up here and you get a map overlay. Yeah, and they haven't got tokens yet, but every scene basically can have a background picture and a map with it. And we already have here a grid that you can pull over. Yeah, and if I now had tokens for the characters, I could just pull them on, but that's something that they're currently working on. So, what do you think? Yeah, is this a revelation? Is this a new way of conceptualizing a VTT? I might just show you something. Oh, hi, Mohammed. I might just show you something on a different game, but Mohammed here, he knows this game. He knows Blade Runner. What do you think? Is this better than Roll? Mohammed, if you have been watching. For example, the poem. We can have a look at the poem. Including spelling mistake right there. Yeah, I think that is quite neat. That works quite well. So if I just go and maybe have a quick look at what they have as a showcase game, which is D&D. I'll just go into Game Master Demo. So again, this one really benefits from the big screens. So you've got various scenes down here. You've got notes with it. And this works quite well because it's really a short note. However, if you look at something like this one here, this scene, get a hold of that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, and we don't have a tactical map overlay here, but we have lots of notes on this one. So if you go to story, and you see here, you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, and it's beautifully formatted and so on. But because you only have that little thing down there, I just wish you could, as a GM, expand that out a bit. I would need that. But maybe it's possible and I'm just too dumb for it. You can also go into the edit mode here, and then you get it a bit bigger. But again, you can't zoom into this, and text size is a bit small for my old eyes. But you can, if you can make it out, you can actually use markup language here, so you can use various formatting here for headlines or for bold type, etc. So you can do quite a bit, like for example on World Anvil, to format the text like rows or put a little picture into it. It is more immersive looking. I think you're right, Mohammed, but the cool thing, I don't know whether I've got that on here. Let's have a look. NPC. So if I wanted to add an NPC here, you have the monster manual from the system's reference document, the SRD. So for example, if I wanted to put in a maybe in-game character, no, there are none. What's a good beast to use here in 5e? Shall we see whether we have a lich on the search bar at the top? Yeah, there's a lich. So I can put a lich onto the scene. Okay. I now have a lich over here, medium undead. Let's say I'm going to play and kind of show him, first of all. I can play as him. And now on the left here, I get my character sheet, essentially. So I've got the actions, I've got the spells, and I've got the normal checks. So for example, if I wanted to do for the lich an Arcana check, click on Arcana. It's really small, I appreciate that. Here at the bottom you then see check. You roll it, add rolls, and you've got your number 26. So this is quite similar to roll. Equipment, he doesn't have any equipment or money. But if I wanted to do a spell, and this is where really I'm out of my depth. Mage Hand, cast, Maging Hand, Conjuration, Cantrip, and you get a little write-up about it. So this is all from the SRD. And you can buy lots of books already on this, extra books. So that's how the character sheet works over here. Yeah, and nothing gets in the way. So you don't have lots of pop-ups, you don't have a character sheet here, you don't have a pop-up over there. Everything is sort of arranged around this beautiful artwork, which I quite like. So this scene here, for example, is really nice looking. Yeah, so you can clearly see you can use a video file, an animated file as a backdrop. It doesn't just have to be a static image with a few floaty bits, but you can actually use a video animation on a short loop, I guess. All of this you can do for free, by the way. So feel free to have a play with it. Again, here you've got all the notes for the scenario. There's no way I can see how to maximize this. Shame, really. Yeah, there's a handout here, for example. Yeah, and the way they've configured it, I can't zoom in. So you have to edit it and say, I want it as full screen, please. And now I can actually see it properly. I thought. Demonstration effects, don't know what went wrong there. So, voice chat is integrated, as I was saying. Video is, I'm sure, is coming at some point. Yeah, what do you think? Leave me a comment. Do you think this is something you are going to check out yourself? You're a D&D player, I definitely would recommend you do that. You have this is currently the client I'm using. And if you just look through what they call the content universes, 5th edition is in there, Ruins of Symbaroum is in there. They've got some scenes, some adventure and city scenes. I put my Blade Runner on here, but they've got quite considerable for an early release, quite a good marketplace. So you can see this adventure here, the full thing. The Lost Druid apparently is really good. Humblewood, I've seen it played. Chipeku's animated maps, they're really good anyway because I use them from Patreon sometimes. We've got Baddies, you've got RPG Art from James's RPG Art. They are really moody pictures as well, cities and towns here. And yeah, they do charge you for everything. You can get the Symbaroum, Runes of Symbaroum Player's Guide and Bestiary and Game Master's Guide in here, so you can take your whole game into this if you can work out how to assign character sheets, which I haven't yet. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. Some scenarios are free here. Go and check it out if you like early access. It is quite fresh. And I've just seen another YouTuber, gosh, I think it was called Gvidian, doing his Vaesen game on here, setting it all up for his players, and that looked pretty good. It's pretty inspiring, actually. So I think if you are somebody who doesn't like tactical maps, but who wants to have a storytelling platform for handouts, maybe for character sheets once they're there, other than 5e, and for really good artwork with a bit of music in the background, go and check it out. Yeah, I think the subscription price I haven't checked yet because I haven't subscribed. I think it's $8 a month or $88 in a year. So whatever that is in your money. And I'm sure there will be more content coming. Like Symbaroum looks great, but you know the artwork in Symbaroum and how lovely it is. But as I said, I couldn't work out how to create a 5e character was really easy. But to get to the characters that are pre-gens, I couldn't work out how that works. Anyway, I'm going to really say thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. My stream is already far too long. I only wanted about 10-15 minutes. So I wish you a good night, and I hope to see you all next time around.